Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is eliminate what's ruining your life. You know, I've learned over the years that sometimes it's not adding things into your life to improve it. It's actually taking things away and stopping the doing of things that is not making your life any better, getting out of bad relationships, changing jobs, just kind of quitting doing stuff that you don't really like. And this gets into the elimination idea. When something is actually, if you can honestly say that the situation you're in is just ruining your life, it's just making you totally unhappy, well, this should be a massive cue for you to do something about it, right? That's the whole point, is the eliminating. And it's not about the tolerating of what is bad in your life and trying to suck it up and deal with it. It's not about, well, other people have it worse, I should just shut up about my problems. No, I think that's a totally wrong way to look at life. If you have something in your life that is just causing you enormous frustrations, and all you do is think about this problem and you wish you didn't have it, well, that's just a problem. That's something that you have to take care of. You've got to expend whatever is necessary to deal with it. And a lot of times what's necessary to deal with these problems is money, right? Let's face it, a big problem with frustration has to do with think you need to spend a lot of money, or even if you know you've got to spend a lot of money on fixing this problem and you just don't want to, right? Well, I think you should spend your money on making your life better. And if you insist on holding on to the money that you've earned or that you're going to earn because you want it for something more later, that just doesn't make that much sense to me. I fell prey to this in years past too. At one point I had a hernia, a very terrible hernia. It just got worse and worse over time. I lived with this hernia for many years, and I didn't want to spend the money on getting this hernia repaired. I had horrible health insurance at the time, and I didn't have, that was in the years right after my divorce, so I had no money, I had no credit. My health insurance where I worked was terrible. It was before I got a great job. Everything was kind of pointing against, was kind of indicating to me just to deal with the hernia, just to deal with it. And of course that limited my life tremendously. You really can't do anything physical at all when you have a hernia. You mostly have to just baby yourself, and no lifting weights, no fun activities that are somewhat active, no real exercise. You just have to kind of do not much of anything. And to tell the truth, the hernia at that time was ruining my life. And it finally got so bad that I thought I was going to die from it, and that's what triggered me to get the hernia fixed. And it was a huge relief to get it fixed. And sometimes when you got to spend a lot of money, you figure out a way to spend it and get a big problem fixed. And I learned from that. I had another hernia years later. I noticed it in 1 month, and by a month afterwards, I was getting it fixed, right? I didn't want to delay. My life was only ruined because of this hernia for a month, not years. And that's, if something is bothering you for weeks and months and years, it's ruining your life. You're having to dwell on it. See, when things are bad in your life and you're dwelling on them, that's in effect ruining your life, because you can't think about what you'd like to do. All you can think about is this big problem, and you're not. So when all you can think about is your problems, that's all you're going to have is your problems. So that was, again, the hernia was a big money issue for me. Another big issue I had is I had always had kind of very junky, marginal cars, and cars without four-wheel drive. So when I live in the Midwest in the U.S., and it's winter time now, and we have winter every year, and some of the winters can be extremely severe, and if you've got to drive around in a marginal car without four-wheel drive, you're going to suffer. And I suffered for years, kind of dreading the winter every year, wishing it would not hoping it is not too severe, hoping that I don't have to drive in a bad weather situation. But see, that was ruining my life, not having the appropriate vehicle for the climate I live in. And if you live in this kind of climate without a four-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive vehicle, you're just fooling yourself. The winter is basically ruining your life while there's a winter. Now, certainly summer comes and everything gets nice and you don't have the same worries, but for part of the year, you're definitely dwelling on the winter, and that's ruining your life. I bought this truck quite a few years ago. I haven't worried about winter since. Everything, I know I can deal with whatever the winter throws at me, and I don't have to worry about winter anymore, and I don't. Another thing that ruined my life was I had some bad teeth. I had a bunch of teeth removed because of past problems, and one of the teeth that was removed was kind of right up in front, and it made I looked bad. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't smile that much, and the reason I didn't deal with this tooth issue is it was the cost, right? I needed to spend a lot of money at the dentist to get this tooth problem fixed, and I kind of lived with a gap in my teeth for many years, and it was ruining my life, right? So with money, you can fix things. And of course, you'll say, well, I don't have the money. Well, I didn't have the money either, right? I used credit to pay for that tooth problem. It was, big problems like that. That's what the credit is for, is to help you get through big problems with credit. I didn't have the money to buy this truck either. I needed credit. That's using credit to buy, to solve your problems, whatever's to eliminate what's ruining your life, is the perfect use of credit. I didn't mind making the truck payments because I was loving my truck every day, and I still do, even though now it's paid off. I didn't mind paying off that big dental bill. I thought, yeah, I can look at myself and smile. I'm happy. I can eat what I want. I look the way I want to look. I don't have a big problem with my teeth anymore. It was just money. I used the money, my future money, to better my life. You see what I mean? You can't be so afraid of spending money to eliminate what's ruining your life, because it just makes no sense to kind of hoard whatever savings you have, or to hoard all your future earnings too, right? If you're hoarding your future earnings to try to save money in the now, you cannot enjoy the present as much as you should, because you're too worried about trying to accumulate money for the future you might not be even alive, right? So I think this idea has a huge merit to a lot of people. They're overly frugal, overly concerned about holding on to the money that they have. So it's especially irritating when you talk to people who they have a lot of money and they have a big problem, and they're not willing to spend some of that money to fix this big problem. And maybe this person will be watching this and kind of wake up, but I think it will help you. If you have a big problem, you want to eliminate it, because that will make your life just go through the roof with happiness, because you get very, very, very happy when you have eliminated big problems. Like sometimes your big problems, what's ruining your life, isn't really a money problem. It's a fear of taking action problem. So around the time of that, when I was suffering with the hernia, that was at a very poor economic time. It was like 3 or 4 jobs ago for me, and I was kind of suffering with this poor job, and always every Friday kind of waiting to get laid off. The pay was always getting cut. Every couple of months we'd get less pay. The benefits, let's say the health insurance premiums would go up every few months. So you're making less and less and less money, and there's more and more and more fear about losing the job. And the only thing that solved that problem was to go to the effort to get a different job. So that's a huge thing you can do that doesn't necessarily cost tons of money. I mean, there's some cost in switching jobs, certainly. I needed a new suit and nice clothes, and there's a time element in doing all this. And then there's, in the gap between quitting an old job and starting a new one, there's a little bit of a financial struggle in that time. But that has worked out extremely well for me, getting away from that job that just was not working out anymore, jumping into something different that I really had no clue what it would be like. It just turned out for the best. And that's just effort. That job that I had was ruining my life. Every Friday I was waiting to get laid off. Every paycheck I was expecting, it got smaller and smaller. The uncertainty about the whole thing was just kind of very disruptive, a very disruptive time of my life. I couldn't enjoy my life. And I probably talked at length about moving to this dream job I had from a different job that was really, really disruptive to my life. And I went to the job hoping it would be great, and it wasn't. And it was ruining my life. I didn't enjoy going to work at all. So I had to make the move. But you see, by that time in my life, I was experienced in eliminating problems. My biggest problem, of course, was leaving my verbally abusive wife. And if you're living with a verbally abusive wife, the only real solution is to leave her. If you need more guidance and more evidence and to help your courage, you should check out my article about Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man with the 3-step system, available on the happierman.com website, and there's some links down in the description below. But I have a long article about about the book, and you might want to check into that, because eliminating a bad relationship in your life will skyrocket your ability to have a great life. It certainly has mine. And I really, if you have anything bad, and you can apply this approach to just about everything, leaving a bad wife, getting a better job, leaving a bad job, what type of vehicle you use for your own peace of mind, how you spend money on your health related things like dental and vision and whatever. This idea will just skyrocket your ability, because you at some point, if you get good at this, you really don't have that many problems. The problems you have are like minor compared to most people, and you can easily fix these problems just by applying extra energy or some money. So give that idea some thought, all for now.